Question number 1. Identify the institution. It was set up in the year 1906 for the research in scientific forestry. Exactly. Imperial Forest Research Institute makes sense, and it is right choice. Question number 2. What term is used for a system of cutting trees controlled by the Forest Department, where one type of tree is planted in straight rows, replacing natural forests? Excellent. Plantation forestry is a brilliant choice. Question number 3. In Java, what system imposed rents on land being cultivated in the forest and exempted villages providing free labor and buffaloes for timber cutting?
You chose mixing Dietston system, and it is correct.
Question number 4. What was the impact of protests by local environmentalists in Bastar when the World Bank proposed replacing natural sal forests with tropical pine? On track. The project was stopped is the correct answer.
Question number 5. Fill in the blank. By the early century, forests in England were disappearing. This created a problem of timber supply for the Royal Navy.
Well done. 19th century oak forests is the right choice. Question number 6. In which region of India did a rebellion against forest policies take place in 1910, leading to the suspension of forest reservation plans? Excellent choice. Bastar is the right answer.
Question number 7. What is the term for the system of cutting trees controlled by the Forest Department, involving planting one type of tree in straight rows?
Nicely done. Scientific forestry is a solid answer. Question number 8. Who challenged state ownership of forests in Java around 1890, questioning the Dutch right to own the wind, water, earth, and wood?
You're right. Soronico salmon is the correct answer.
Question number 9. Which British administrator killed 400 tigers and viewed large animals as signs of a wild, primitive, and savage society in India? Great thinking. George Yule is the right choice. Question number 10. The British needed wood for railway sleepers. How many sleepers were typically needed per mile of track, according to the passage? Right again. 2000 is a valid answer. Question number 11. In which region did a rebellion against forest policies take place in 1910, led by leaders like Sidhu, Konyu, and Birsa Munda? Solid response. Santhal Parganas is a valid choice. Question number 12. What was the impact of the World Bank's proposal to replace natural sal forests with tropical pine in Bastar in the 1970s? Well picked. The project was stopped is the correct answer. Question number 13. Since the 1980s, what has become a more important goal for governments across Asia and Africa in terms of forestry? Clear logic. Your choice conservation of forests is sound and 100% true. Question number 14. What system did the Dutch impose in Java to control woodcutters and shifting cultivators in the 18th century? Nice selection. Mixing Dietston system is the correct and valid answer. Question number 15. What term is used for sacred groves protected by villages in India, contributing to the survival of dense forests? Nice work. You chose Sarnish is a goddess, and it is correct. Question number 16. What is the practice of clearing forests with mixed trees and planting one kind of trees in straight rows called? Great job. Scientific forestry is the accurate answer. Question number 17. Which tribe in the Andaman Islands was severely affected by the British colonial policies of forest conservation?
Perfect. Great Andamanese is the correct choice.
Question number 18. Which movement initiated by Amrita Devi Bishnoi to protect trees from being felled is famous in Indian history?
Valid point. Chipko movement is true.
Question number 19. During which period was a significant amount of forest cleared for industrial uses, cultivation, and fuelwood?
1995 is the right answer. Question number 20. The Blandong-Dienstein system of exempting villages from rent in return of free labor was introduced by whom?
You got it. Your choice Dutch is right.
Question number 21. What system did the Dutch enact in Java in the 19th century to restrict villagers' access to forests?
Smart pick. Dutch village system is the correct choice. Question number 22. What became a more important goal for governments in Asia and Africa since the 1980s in terms of forestry?
Right choice. Conservation of forests is the best answer.
Question number 23. What policy did the Dutch follow in Java just before the Japanese occupied the region during World War I?
Sharp thinking. Scorched earth policy is the right choice.
Question number 24. Who was the first Inspector General of Forests in India, responsible for introducing scientific forestry?
Well reasoned. Dietrich Brandis is the correct choice.
Question number 25. Which of the following categories of forests is considered as the best on the basis of their utility?
Good thinking. Reserved forests is the right answer.
Question number 26. What was the major impact of the First World War and the Second World War on forests in India?
Good job. Your answer, working plans were abandoned, works well here.
Question number 27. What was the major impact of European colonialism on shifting cultivation practices in India?
Strong choice. Banning of shifting cultivation is the right answer.
Question number 28. What law, enacted in 1865, divided forests into reserved, protected, and village categories?
Correct response. Indian Forest Act is the most accurate answer. Question number 29. What was the primary reason for the Dutch to enact forest laws in Java in the 19th century?
Smart move. Shipbuilding and railways is an accurate answer. Question number 30. It is a system in which forest tribes were exempted from land rent in exchange of labor.
Bravo! Mixing Dietzton system is the answer.
Question number 31. Who was the German forest expert invited by the British for advice on commercial forest? You chose Dietrich Brandis. And it is correct? Question number 32. The Adivasi communities in India traded through the nomadic communities like Dash. Great job. Banjaras is the accurate answer. Question number 33. The people of Basta believe that by whom was the land given to each village?
Correct. Earth is the right answer.
Question number 34. The forest satyagraha in the United Provinces was led by?
Excellent. Mahatma Gandhi is a brilliant choice.
Question number 35. In which type of cultivation parts of forest are cut and burnt in rotation?
Valid point. Shifting cultivation is true.
Question number 36. What was prohibited by the forest laws, leading to punishment for poaching? Good thinking. Hunting is the right answer.
Question number 37. What resource did the British gain more control over with the Forest Acts? Nicely done. Timber is a solid answer.
Question number 38. Which of the following trees were promoted for building ships or railways?
Strong choice. Teak and sal is the right answer.
Question number 39. What are some names for sacred groves protecting dense forests in India?
Excellent choice. Sarnesh, goddess, calm, stone is the right answer.
Question number 40. Who was the leader of the 1910 rebellion in Bastar against forest laws?
Smart move. Goon is an accurate answer. Question number 41. How many kilometers of railway track had been laid in India by 1890?
You're right. 500 kilometers is the correct answer. Question number 42. How did the British view forests in India in the early 19th century?
Correct response. Unproductive wilderness is the most accurate answer. Question number 43. In 1600, what percentage of India's landmass was under cultivation?
Well picked. 0.6 is the correct answer.
Question number 44. Construction of railways tracks in India created a huge demand for. Nice work. You chose timber, and it is correct. Question number 45. Out of 3 categories, which forests were regarded as the best?
On track. Reserved forests is the correct answer.
Question number 46. Which of the following is a community of skilled forest cutters?
Well done. Kalangs of Java is the right choice.
Question number 47. When did Brandis set up the Imperial Forest Research Institute? Right again, 1906 is a valid answer.
Question number 48. The Forest Act of Dash divided forests into 3 categories.
Bravo. 1878 is the answer.
Question number 49. Who was the tribal leader of the rebellion at Chotanagpur? Great thinking. Cuddlemuda is the right choice.
Question number 50. Dash are a skilled forest cutters and shifting cultivation.
Perfect. Kalangs is the correct choice.
Question number 51. The British passed the Forest Act in India in which year?
Right choice. 1882 is the best answer.
Question number 52. Where did the Dutch start forest management in Indonesia?
Exactly. Java makes sense, and it is right choice. Question number 53. Each mile of railway track requires around dash sleepers. You got it. Your choice 2000 is right.
Question number 54. Who was the first Inspector General of Forests in India?
Good job. Your answer, Dietrich Brandis, works well here.
Question number 55. The railway network expanded rapidly in India from the...
Clear logic. Your choice 1860s is sound and 100% true. Question number 56. What was the shifting cultivation called in Sri Lanka? Sharp thinking. White is the right choice. Question number 57. Khanded was a name used for shifting agriculture in. Solid response. India is a valid choice. Question number 58. Swidden agriculture is known dash in Central America. Well reasoned. Milpa is the correct choice. Question number 59. Bastar people believe each village was given land by. Smart pick. The Earth is the correct choice.
Question number 60. The Imperial Forest Research Institute was set up at.
Nice selection. Dehradun is the correct and valid answer.
Question number 61. What is the term for the disappearance of forests?
Good job. Your answer, deforestation, works well here. Question number 62. The Indian Forest Act was amended in dash and dash. Solid response. 1878 is a valid choice. Question number 63. How did the colonial state consider the forests? Smart move. Source of revenue is an accurate answer. Question number 64. Indian Forest Service was set up in the year. You're right. 1864 is the correct answer.
Question number 65. When did the rebellion take place in Basta? Strong choice. 1910 is the right answer. Question number 66. Which of the following is a commercial crop? You got it. Your choice, cotton, is right. Question number 67. The scorched earth policy was followed by. Clear logic. Your choice, Dutch in Java, is sound and 100% true. Question number 68. When was the Indian Forest Act enacted? Right choice, 1865.
Question number 69. Which of these is a forest product?
Well picked. All of these is the correct answer.
Question number 70. Dietrich Brandis was the first dash.
Excellent. Inspector General of Forest is a brilliant choice.
Question number 71. What were the best forests called?
Excellent choice. Reserved forests is the right answer. Question number 72. Baigas are a forest community of.
Great job. Central India is the accurate answer.
Question number 73. Tendu leaves are used in making. Nicely done. Bidus is a solid answer.
Question number 74. Adivasi communities traded dash.
Correct. Elephants is the right answer.
Question number 75. Sacred groves are known as. Perfect. Sarneshkam stone goddess is the correct choice. Question number 76. Does deforestation mean?
Valid point. Disappearance is true.
Question number 77. Where is Bastar located?
Great thinking. Southernmost part of Chhattisgarh is the right choice.
Question number 78. Deforestation refers to.
You chose disappearance of forests, and it is correct.
Question number 79. Birsa Munda belonged to.
Exactly. Chotanagpur makes sense, and it is right choice.
Question number 80. Deforestation is dash.
Bravo. Man-made is the answer.
Question number 81. Where is Birsa Munda?
Smart pick. Chotanagpur is the correct choice.
Question number 82. Bastar is located in.
Sharp thinking. Chhattisgarh is the right choice.
Question number 83. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format.
Well done. Contact Naran Chengder on Facebook is the right choice.